Howdy folks, welcome to Katie Phillips Scrapbook Designs. I'm Katie and today we're going to work on page number 4 in the Reaching for the Stars mini album. For this album we're using the Theater of Stars paper pad by Recollections. And the first thing that I think we're going to start on in this video is going to be a frameless shaker, and I've never done one before, so let's see how that goes. Alright, so for the shaker element itself, I've got a background piece of pattern paper cut to 4.5 by 6.5. And I've got a piece of acetate cut to 5.5 by 7.5, and I've added double-sided tape all around the edges. And I've got these little pieces cut from one of the one of the pattern papers that's got all the border strips on it. And I think I'm going to arrange them something like this and glue that down so you can just barely make out the mountain here. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue these down, and I think I'm going to use double-sided tape instead of glue for this. There's not going to be any weight on them, so it's not going to hurt anything to use the tape. And I want to limit the number of little pieces of shaker bits that get caught between the pattern paper here and the background. And all of these pieces have been inked with Distress Oxide Black Soot. The inspiration for this page is from a page I did in the Life is Better with a Dog mini album, which I will link up over here. I periodically go back and look at some of my older mini albums and think, okay, what can I do with this, and how can I make it more interesting, more challenging? And that's what I did in this case. Alright, I have never done a frameless shaker before, so this is going to be kind of new and different for me. I have watched a couple of videos on it, so I believe the next step is to score the acetate. And I'm going to lay the acetate down with the double-sided tape facing down. And I'm going to score this side at 3/8. Wow, that doesn't score very deep. It might be the kind of acetate that I'm using, because this is just like transparency from a Teacher's Supply. So this piece is, I'm gonna have to do this 4.5 inches wide, so I've scored it at 5.5 inch side at 3/8. So I don't want to score at the 1/2 inch mark, because then I'm not going to have enough room to get all the way around. So I'm going to go to 5 1/8. And I'm not sure that scoring it is going to do any good. It might help. Then I'm going to score the bottom at 1/2 inch. Actually, I'm going to back the bottom down to 3/8 of an inch, and then I'm going to score the top at 7 inches. 3/8 and 7. The shaker bits that I'm going to use are chunkier than normal shaker bits, so I'm not going to have any of the, small glitters or anything in here, so I'm not worried about what could end up coming loose. And now I'm going to secure this on 3 sides. Great, so let's grab the shaker elements. And this is from a shaker collection that I got for the Coffee Lover mini album, and I want to try to use it up as much as possible. No frame shaker pocket. This is going to mount on this mat. This mat is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I think I'm gonna do that with glue. Yes, I'm gonna do that with glue. And this is actually going to be triple matted. Again, with glue. And the measurements of this mat are 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. Now, all of this is going on a booklet. So let's grab the booklet pieces. The booklet pieces are 10 by 7, and we're going to score the 10-inch side at 5 inches. And I've got 2 of those pieces. After we score it at 5 inches, we're going to fold it in half, ink the edges, and staple in the middle using a swing arm stapler. Now we're going to start on the accordion pieces. And we have 2 of these. The accordions are 5.5 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches tall. We're going to score the 8 1/4 inch side. It's 7 3/4, 7 1/2, 3 3/4. One of them is going to have a pocket. The pocket is 6 1/2 by 2. We're going to score at the 1/2 inch mark, fold it under, then score at the 5 1/2 inch mark. And we're going to score at the 1/2 inch mark on the 1 1/2 inch side. The top flap is going to have, or the top accordion is going to have a belly band on it. The belly band is 6 1/2 inches wide. We're going to score at 1/2 inch, fold it under, score at 5 1/2 inches, and it's 1 inch tall. So let's get started with scoring and inking the edges on the accordion and the belly band and the pocket, and then we'll start assembling them. For the accordion mats, we've got 2 mats cut at 5 1/4 by 3 1/2 and 2 mats cut at 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. And for the pocket, we've got 1 mat cut at 5 1/4 by 1 1/4 and 1 mat cut at 5 3/8 by 1 3/8. I'm going to mat the pocket first, and then I'm going to wrap the pocket around. You don't want to wrap it around both of these mats. I think I'm only going to wrap it around the top mat. And here's my thinking on that. If I wrap it around both mats, that reduces the amount of room that I've got in the pocket. And this is a little bit thick. So that's why I'm going to just wrap the pocket around this smaller mat. So first, let's mat the pocket. Now I did arrange these so that these two were at least in line, which is why I've got this one set aside specifically for the bottom. So I'm going to center this side to side, and I'm actually going to come down pretty close to the score line on the bottom. Now we're going to glue this pocket down to this larger mat here. And you could use Aleene's for this. The art glitter glue was what was right there. But you definitely want to use glue for this application because you don't want double-sided tape to be the only thing supporting that this big old booklet here. Okay, and this one's going to go on the bottom. So I'm thinking, there we go. And I'm actually going to clip these corners and ink both of those. Now for the top band, oh, I've got 2 more mats. Okay. The mats for the top band are 5 1/4 by 3/4 and 5 3/8 by 7/8. And once again, we're going to mat the band first, and then we're going to attach it to the smaller mat. So I want to make sure I've got this right side up, and I'm going to position this about halfway from top to bottom. And I'm going to center it between the score lines. So just so that you can see how I've got it folded, this Z-fold is set up like this. And when it's glued down to the page, this tab is going to be glued down and it's going to lay down like this. And I've got a gusset in here because there's going to be a flap underneath it. Right, Now we need to glue those two flaps down to the base page, which we already have set up from when we did page number 3. It's 6 1/4 by 7 1/2, scored at 5 1/2 and 5 3/4. And we are going to position these. This one will be up here at the top, and this one will be down here at the bottom. Barely, but it fits. It's a little tight. Next up, we've got a flap that's going to go inside here. Do we want it to open that way or this way? I think we want it to open this way, because if we open it on the left and have it flip out this way, we can put mats and stuff inside here, because these pieces will hold it down, and the right side will be facing toward the spine. So the flap is 6 by 7 1/2, and we're going to score the 6-inch side at 5 1/2 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and do that scoring, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to glue this flap down on the free edge of page number 4. Right, now we're ready to mat the inside. And the mats for the base page, the flap on both sides, are 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And let's see, how do I want this? I think I want that one there, that one there, and that one there. Take that back. I want that one there. And there. This piece was originally something like 6 by 9, so obviously I had to trim it down to 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And if you wanted to, you could mat all of these sections of the accordion. You would need 1, 2, 3, 6 more mats at, what was that? 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. Yeah, 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, that is it for page number 4. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more mini album related content. If you have any questions, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And the materials that I use in this album will be linked in the description box down below. See you guys next time. Bye.